Hi, people on YouTube, if you're still there, sorry. Somehow my thing kind of shut down on me. So I just moved my mouse. Good morning. Do I know if someone online has a spirit attached to someone? Okay, we all do. For stuff like that, I would go more private because then I can see and speak. And then most of your spirits would be able to like speak to pull things out of each other to help. Like I do that. That's how I connect with other spirits. Everybody has at least one spirit attached to them other than just the one form because everybody's going through the experience. And if the spirit attached is coming to you to work through something, and you are that channel, you are that medium, hence the medium, you can use your voice. That's what I'm looking to say. Right now, it's like yes, right in here. And that kind of it's like anything I question. It drew speaking out about it, that spirit notices, and that's where I get those feelings because it comes at me, it sees me, and when it goes to you, it's because you are a form of its light to help for it to pass through. It's something that spirit to you has attached to them, and they have to resolve whatever it is in order for them to move on. Sometimes they end up like getting through starting on something and one just kind of it's like it's gone. So it's like that channel. It's like think of a telephone system where wires are crossed, get interference. Okay, some spirits are called somewhere else, and that's a too can also be cut off. Sometimes the spirits will say, "Okay, you're like back. I just gotta go." It's like a telephone. And I used Once Upon a Time, the series Once Upon a Time. It's on Disney. And I know a lot of people aren't into Disney, what have you. But if you can get, like, even just to watch that series, watch it because it says a lot about what we're experiencing with regards to, like, with crystals or what we perceive as magic, as witches, and just magic carpets, all that stuff. That is real because it's actually it's a history that has been passed down over time in people say folklore or anything like that. But you say, oh, it's imagination. Well, imagination came from something you see. So you had to see it to create it. You had to experience it to create an experience. And if you're experiencing the same thing over and over again, it's those spirits that are trying to sort out. Another show. A lot of people are touchy on the name Lucifer. There's a series on Netflix that's still there about Lucifer because they're actually telling you the truth of stuff, but they're telling you it's fiction and it's fantasy. You know, what was it? Star Trek? Well, what are you on? Seriously, we didn't have this stuff in the '60s, but they were putting, you know, communicating, seeing one another. But see, the thing is, you can do it through the eye. That's why CIA or CAI or whatever it's called, I don't know, something like that. CIA. They use viewers, and they'll have children at a younger age because at a younger age, children are actually already fully connected. It's the systems and the people that tell them that they're not seeing what they're seeing, or they're not experiencing what they're experiencing when they actually are. Another movie, Sixth Sense. Okay, Bruce Willis. The boy was talking to Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis didn't realize that he died because sometimes things happen so fast that it doesn't realize what just happened to it. So that's where you get it stays around. It didn't move on because it didn't move on because it was haunting you or what have you. Sometimes it feels you're in its space, their space. And that's part of going between the physical world and the spirit world. We're intertwining with one another just because you can't see it there. Does not mean that it's not there because everything exists at the same time. And I understand that because you actually see it. I explained that I seen a woman that I knew for years. She's only a few years older than me. But yesterday I was at Costco and I was looking at this person and they're looking at me like we know each other. We're familiar to one another, and I'm looking and I'm seeing the person that I know now and the younger version of themselves. And when you start noticing things like that, it's and back in 2021, I was in the hospital and I was sitting and I was talking to an older version. I believe it was like I not because I don't know how I would look when I was old, but it was either myself or my sister. And I know where that would come from. Why I would be seeing them there at that age, because it was the part where a traumatic thing happened to them, and they blame themselves and they shut down. But they haven't. Whether it was because I went back, or I went ahead, or maybe I went back because it was never ahead or back because it was always now, and I was just walking through a different timeline, experiencing it. And that's why a lot of stuff don't make sense to people right now. And that's the part of we become paranoid because it's like it don't make sense. But paranoia is another word for spirit speaking to you. You become paranoid because you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know what you're experiencing. You just know that you're fucking voices. And people are telling you, oh, well, you have this disorder, you have that disorder. But spirit is not a disorder. Spirit is unexplained until you understand it. Until you realize that that's what you're experiencing. And once you realize that's what you're experiencing, then you start evolving. The evolution, revelations, to realize revolution, revving up for the solution. Ah, holy shit, man! Sicken na jag tonåring. They like to play on words. So do I. This is part of what is like a spiritual exorcism. Only I'm working the spirit to do it. It's the epiphany, the realizing of the truth, and others can experience it too. Holy crap! And it does mangle the brain. I've been through like an exorcism through the church. Yes, I had in '99, and they told me it was psychosis. But I went and had an exorcism done because I knew it wasn't. And then when I had the exorcism done, the voices stopped. But it was like I took on a lot. I used to read keyboard and, you know, so now I'm the part of reaping what you sow. You played with something that you didn't understand, but I understand now why it happened. I just had no support at that time because I didn't I didn't understand. I knew that it was something spiritual. And then I was fucking like, holy shit, man, I was paranoid. I was seeing the seven stars in people's eyes, three in one and four in another. Chiamo crema di essere tutto quieta, tutto se tu esci dalla pista che tu io non potrei essere quieta, you could also look at it as number, if people know about numerology, you could look at it, the separation, as 4 plus 3 as 7. Or you can look like, yeah, the number 7, the 7 angels, the 7 stars. Say lucky 7, okay? But it's not about that part as it is the all the other stuff that resembles 7. To come up with yes. At that time, I even seen because you can manifest. And I was so in tune with everything before I got freaked out that I can even you can even manifest if you wanted to see a specific cloud. All you had to do was think of what kind of form of a cloud you wanted to see. You could see it because it's what I was seeing in one thing here, and I was like, and I was seeing it right there, and it was pretty fucking trippy. And these past few years get pretty trippy sometimes. He's a good duck, I hard heart in the room. Like that part of, you can get off my head too. He said, ask for you, so so I know what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it doesn't mean that it makes it any easier, but it does make it easier in a sense that once you understand it, you move through it fast. And the manipulation, I guess, every day, another person, I went and got my insurance and registration. And another person, like they were just like all smiles when I started speaking like this. I can be stern with it, but that's the first spirit because I've surrendered in that sense. And do I resist sometimes? Yeah, I still do, but it makes me busy because I feel like I'm not ready. And sometimes it's because I'm afraid of my own stuff. Because I get the reach, but that's like all spirits kind of coming in and others trying to fathom what their experiences. I hear that scream. It's like I hear that pain, I feel that pain. And some people may not believe that, and that's entirely up to yourself. I don't even like. I said before that like it would be hard for somebody to come spend the night here because I wake up in the middle of the night speaking in the different languages. I wake up in the middle of the night where I feel like I'm in an anxiety where I just have to look up. There's so much going on. My mom has, like, my mom is deceased, so I speak with her through spirit. And my mom and my grandparents and everything, and my ancestors and everything, and just gonna let it go. And when they tell me just let it go, I feel that release, and it becomes less painful because I'm less resistant. So I've had some people tell me that I'm speaking to one. I may come off hard sometimes, but that's only because spirit, certain spirits get fed up with watching people continue to do the same thing over and over again and continue to ask for life or what have you for forgiveness, bringing up the and I felt that because something in the room didn't like what I just said because it's been programmed to think otherwise. That's the same as trying to shut me down for explaining my experiences and how I got through it. And if it's going out there and it's going to help other people to understand what you're experiencing and how to overcome it and work through it, then I'm doing what I'm meant to be, whether people like me for it or not. You have so many people doing stuff that they don't even want to be doing, but they're forced to do it or feel forced to do it because they need a roof over their head, they need food, they need clothing, they need heat, lights, water, and yeah, as I said, shelter. Mm. And that's all stuff that people say, oh, well, why would it shouldn't be free? Because the land was never owned by any. The trees are what builds it, and you don't own the trees. Mother Nature owns the trees. God, source, spirit owns the trees. And you're going and cutting down. Why don't people just start like growing hemp and stuff like that? Because if you look up hemp is stronger than steel. Did you know that? I just heard no idea. Where did you find that? I Googled hemp. You can use it for things. You can even use hemp for piping. It's a way of molding and hemp. It's biodegradable, but when you form it, I read about it that put it in piping and you put it in the ground and what have you, at least 500 years. And it conducts heat. It basically look it up. And we're cutting down trees and hemp grows so fast and people don't believe me with regards, but you leave hemp trees marijuana, whatever it is, you leave it grow. Is it not strong? But stuff like that, what they do, they make you illegal unless you're like, and you don't even have to strip the land to do that. You shouldn't have. I would build a house out of house. You're freaking right, I would. I'd build my whole house out of it and piping and all. Pretty durable too. Houses are not, homes are not made like they used to. There were people like cave dwellers. Well, it's because they built their houses underground. Underground cities, they're underground cities that people are actually living in. And, some people just aren't aware of it. And people, well, that's good. Look up history. They try to hide that, don't they? The real history. You have to dig deep for it. But you look at old structures were built like they were lasting for 2,000 years and plus. Okay. And we get a windstorm and our fucking houses blow down. Wow. If you had that stuff, you need all these codes. And pretty much a layman could build their own house. Education became profitable, but it also made us ignorant to the natural ways, how to get along without feeling like you had to go see somebody because they fucked you over. When stuff like that happens, that's when people start to get paranoid. It doesn't have to be a voice thing. It could be paranoid that, if I do this, then this person's going to do that. That's a paranoia. That's a part of a what if. Like, what if? And turn it into, it doesn't matter because what if holds you back. I did, yeah. It's like, what if somebody told you to jump off a bridge? Would you do it? Or would you use your common sense? This stuff is based on common sense, not a bunch of jargon that friggin' just confuses the minds and leaves you like in, huh? Because you didn't understand it. It doesn't have to be as complicated as it's made. This complication, it is profitable because then, well, You know, you got to do this so you can do that, or you got to do that so you can do this, instead of, just seeing the overall picture and just doing it because it makes sense. See it from a make sense opposed to, because you're more intelligent when you use the make sense than you are if you're throwing in a bunch of fear. You sound intelligent. And in retrospect, with regards to books in that way, you're intelligent to books and theories and stuff like that. But when something of common sense came up, it would take a lot longer to figure out because you'd be too busy over analyzing it. Well, what if I did this? And what if that happened? What if yeah, confirmation, the train. Personally, I just want to sit with people more in a public setting and allow them to just ask questions. Always make sure there's like the language and tone there because it's a lot of different stuff that comes out and it's just comes out. Sometimes it all mumbo jumbles together because everybody all the spirits are trying to really speak at once. Because any like a lot of different pieces, stuff like that. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody wants to be heard. Segundo, sì, mi tutto dire che ne sto qui nella scena che it's hard to be friends. It is hard to keep them. I just going even if it's in a slow mo. Maybe I have people living right. You should put us at the end. Yeah, sure. Perché poi era così. Questi pure sono reali, così. Bene, sì, My tears are salty because I have a little pet there. Actually, my cat was yelling. This app, it's releasing. There's a lot of releasing because it's not talking. Yeah. Yeah. She did. Finding your mark, and sometimes it can be hard to find because it feels very painful, sometimes selfless, sometimes selfish. Oh, no. Sometimes it because that's when they get seen. That's when they see themselves. You see yourself because we're taught not to be seen. And you're allowed to see yourself. But you need to see yourself. E me creano si solo che secondo me came here to go through this, to understand. Because I know that parts of my spirit cause che mi creano che potuto non riesco a risa, hanno potuto vestire no people don't understand this. But your spirit does, and that's where I go spirit to spirit because it's not always the person per se that's as it is because I can see it when it changes. It's something switches. Que magari isso deve ser que tu could and make it simple. Hey, to see. Now, my family as my family. Was she always like this? Fuck no, like we don't know where it came from. We don't understand it either. And that's it would be said, but not with the outward. Because one of my sisters told me one day, like, she stopped me, like, stop talking like that. Like, no, you know, it's not to be disrespectful, because the one telling me to silence myself is being disrespectful to me. Even and I understand it not like you tell it's said, like people do it all like people who speak in other languages themselves they do it all the time. Like you don't know if those people are talking to different forms themselves, if they're on a cell phone or like if they're next to somebody. You don't know. Do you go up and slap them and say stop talking like that? But I went past that part. That was an example of what I've gone through because it's not like that as much anymore. Kids love it because their higher self understands because they themselves understand in certain aspects of the spirit. And that's why, like, if I'm looking at it, like, if I'm around children and they're um, rambunctious and we fight or something like that, and I can, like, I know with two that I've done that with, and they calm right down. And it's not because I'm better than anybody else. It's because that part of my spirit knows how to communicate in a way of calming, communicating with spirit or spirits that are having that tantrum. So I don't laugh, and I love speaking, and I'm just going on like a little kid, talking in different forms of languages, and just being a kid, the one that I am, not an angry, aggressive person. I'm just experiencing other forms of spirits to help others. So my fun will come. Like affection. So much. Like hugs. Nobody should be deprived of hug. I mean, crying, like, come on, you're the way I do. I just feel like feeling those parts of me that went through pain and the experiences, and sometimes realizing, sometimes it was my experiences, but they weren't at the same time because I talked to other people and they described the same fucking thing, same way and everything. So it's like, whoa, man, that's it's like they go and I use it um, kind of black, and they take away the memories of hypnosis, the mass hypnosis, keep everything, remembering the experience, and that's PTSD. Everybody remember certain things flash back because your memories come back, but you're only seeing pieces of certain things. On Once upon a time, dark one, still skin, what have you, an episode where the Oracle, the child, tells him that he's going to have a son, so he wounds himself. So he's not for war. So the Oracle, in an adult life, came back and he wanted power. She said, just take, because he wanted to know his future as finding his son. And she told him that, like, you can't. And then she said about her power. And he takes it and he says, like, everything just being a blur and all over the place. And she said, yes, you have to sort through that because it's a filing cabinet. It's a filing cabinet of your life and your ancestral line. So it's finding the piece of the puzzle. That's why I can't come on here and tell your fortune because I don't want to tell you your I want you to come to that yourself by asking yourself the questions that you're asking. You say, okay, why do I want to know this? Why did why did it happen in the first place? The who, what, when, where, why happened. And it was an answer. How did it happen? That helps is here actually questioning yourself of your own feelings and emotions actually helps you to connect more with your shadows and become more on a deep level with your shadows because you can become more understanding and you learn to communicate with yourself, with spirit. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm yes, yeah, I felt that. Picking them on play. I don't send karma back, and I try really hard. I try not to send stuff back at people because that's what creates conflict. We call it conflict. Keeps it going. And I don't want I didn't come here to have this shit kicked out of me, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, or psychically, or what have you. But then my contract would say, like, what? Why would I want to experience it? But I wanted to experience it so that I could understand it, so that I could work with others to be able to understand themselves, what spirit actually is. You know, you said right now it's energy's moving in my body. Gives you like that, it can give you a jolt, it can give you electrical voltage, que me todo ese es convulsions, because it acts almost like it, sometimes it almost acts and feels like a seizure activity, but it's because your body is rewiring, so it's just like a, it's like, whoa, what just happened there? I got a tick, or is that called a twitch? See how good, yeah, it's called the neck. I don't know if people are saying, yeah, the spine is around the, like right in that area there. Yeah. It's like something gets caught. It's like an energy. The energy is caught within there, and it can be almost like it's almost like it's a little, it's twisted, but the wiring harness is crossed over. Just open. Okay, just stop. Crap, man. I connect with my energy no matter what. I connect with everything. I use my thought, my heart, my whole body. I do healing on people by experiencing the person so that I can find where their energy blockages are. I just heard you give permission. If I am feeling it within myself, I don't need permission to heal my own body. So if it's healing the other person's body, then I guess they're accepting healing. But I'm working with myself. And that's why I'm constantly doing this because I could be connecting with people across the world and I don't even realize it could be somebody that I'm watching or that's watching me on here. But when I'm experiencing it in my own body, that's when I'll do it. And then I'll explain what I'm experiencing, where I'm experiencing it. We'll explain what if I'm getting what it is that's going on, and I'll explain that too. Yeah. So you talk with spirit and feel too. You know? But it's actually spirit working with me to help me teach me, and then coming with me to teach me. It's like one of it because it's everything and everyone is teaching me. Because it starts with you teaching me. So, boom, isa ka na, alam mo na yun, imagination, history. Hmm. Ito po dito, hindi siya, yeah. Yeah, affection and laughter and love. It's just like so very enlightening. Monsters think they found out that laughter creates the most energy. Not in like it's laughter is funny without it's like that game that a lot of us used to play, especially Gen Xer, Gen X. Yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, it was like these two, yeah. No, and I just heard I spy. If it's meant to come back, it'll come back. Now it's fixing makes up ring. Now it's bothering me because I can't remember it. So it's like that's where. Excuse me. Like, I don't pause it. I lost the pistol. Oh well, I'll get another one. I got the mirror. Yeah, stop. Yeah, it was a distraction. Yeah, when I think of the receipt, I am physical. Beautiful. Yeah, that was the first time I ever did something like that on live. So, I'm allowed to laugh at myself. I'd rather make fun of myself than someone else, but it was shenanigans for it. Yeah, I have a stone now, and I combine them together. Kaya nukaya kiyanata hesita. Suta potendo me kiomo for kisa parete. Ya, kaya tara oh, yeah. Ooh, come on. He's so nice. She can actually, like, you actually realize that you're at first, sometimes it can be really intense. I had to get a remote control taken out of my hand because the electricity that can go through our body, I was so high. It was like I had to be, so high that it was like I had to get grounded. But it was a system that seen that I was high and created some stuff. I do encourage people to share their stories, like even their stories to do with paranormal activity or spirit activity, especially that stuff, because then you'll find a community that can actually talk about their own experiences, and that's how you learn how to help the different spirits because you actually end up communicating with those spirits and allowing the feelings and emotions to come through because that's what you need. You can even do it in group settings, which that's where everybody needs to know that you are in control of your body. You are in control of your body in that sense. And if you got irate with somebody, a spirit got irate with another spirit, you started to hurt someone, it is on you because when you know what you're experiencing, you know exactly what's going on with yourself. And the sooner we realize as a whole that everything runs on a spirit aspect of things, spirit to spirit, then we'll be able to learn how to communicate with one another without getting, because people say, well, war, we need war. No, really? It's like I was the episode of Once Upon a Time, and I do use it a lot. And they were, every time I start saying that about Once Upon a Time, Dice que they come in the room because they like to distract you from what you're doing. And when they come in, when something comes in the room, it does that. It's like turning the dial on your radio. It goes to a different song or a different beat. It's because everything is constant. It's like it's moving, and then something else or another spirit wants to be heard. So it's kind of that quick, it's like going from one place to the other faster than you can think of. Crap, man. Oh my gosh. Did I get exhausted? Yeah, sometimes. And it's just like I just lay down and try, like, just, like I said, I know how to move it quickly now, so it doesn't affect me as much as it used to. So I don't get so um, worn out. Like sometimes when I go through this jerking and jolting and what have you, and it gets in the head and the head starts, it hurts. But then it moves, and I may not know, be able to say about actors and actresses and all about like all the other history and stuff like that. But it's a part of, I don't need to know about actors or singers or anything like that because their life affects them in that aspect. And I want to be in the now moment so that I can see what's going on within my own surroundings and family because you get so many people, they're so wrapped up and interested in an actor or singer, and those same people that are wrapped up in that, they show no respect or emotion for family members that are going through the same thing. So what's up with that? There's, are you trying to live vicariously? You want to live vicariously through something that's not so much real, or something that is a cast, or something that you know you say it's real. Can you redo magic? Yes. Or are you just seeing things transpiring on different parallel worlds or program template in somebody else's template? You're seeing what's going on in someone else's world, and because you're seeing it, you can feel like you're experiencing it, but they see what you're doing as you see what they're doing. So we're examples for each other. Get that I we are the biggest example for our children. So how can we blame or fault on our children for behaving a certain way if that's what we're teaching? Set that I am. These are strict, but it's a lot of common common sense of what we already know, but we allow a program and a system to hijack our brain and tell us that we don't know. was watching TikTok today, and then kids weren't listening when parents were calmly telling them, so they felt that they had to use a strong voice. It's like, no. And this one, two, three stuff with my grandchildren, I tell them, I don't count to three. And it's not because I'm mean. It's that part of if you're telling the child something the first time and you don't, then you need to go over and take it from them and let them have their fit and just show them how they're behaving, even if it does sound like a madhouse going on as you're doing it. Or take them onto something. You have to have the reinforcement, and it doesn't have to be like smacking them or hollering at them, as that's the second thing you go to, or threatening them with one parent over the other, because then that just puts them against one another because the child sees it and they play it. But you guys already know that. And I'm not being sarcastic or ignorant about what I'm saying. You already know that. But because the system has you in fear of if you do something like that, then it's unacceptable. But the unacceptable part is just giving in to a child and then us blaming it on other people or society. It's because we're all too busy, like I said, trying to keep up with the Joneses. I had a woman today. She told me that she bought something for her new daughter because it was the in thing, it was the popular thing. But she had to create a debt in order to get it. It's that part of, we have spoiled children and children that act out because of that reason, because they because you play into keeping up with the Joneses because the child down the road has it. Well, your child has to have it too so they can fit in. I'd rather my child not fit in than become one that what we perceive or say is privileged. And some kids will go and flaunt it in other kids' faces. And then it becomes a fight instead of the parents teaching the children that don't have it have access to it, teaching them the importance of not worrying about whether you have a name. It's not saying that you can never have something. Sometimes it's putting it towards yourself to help yourself become that million or billion. Even $100,000 heir. We had that all the time. It's like people run around feeling like to have stuff, they have to create debt. And, for the basics, you shouldn't be paying anything for it. And some men, like what I just said, because you think, oh, well, you should work for what you get. Well, you shouldn't have to pay to fucking live. Yeah, you look so serious. Spirit is serious right now. It is serious in that things happen within the systems because we allow it to happen. It's like stop allowing it to happen, and it won't happen. Void if it's controlled, don't go. unless you go in there with an open eye and in your heart, your eye and heart together. That's the sight because you're capable of seeing what is not believing for some others, and you're able to feel what others can't. Se mi che tutto pushere, si che tata te tutto tu pulito, non è ne ne quando tu io miscreato. The I am is telling you I am abundant, I am beautiful, I am flourishing. And to me, it's getting up past all of that and getting up to understanding of the understanding of why people experience things that they experience. You can understand because you're experiencing it for yourself, whether it be in the physical aspect of it or whether you're experiencing it within the core, because everything is actually experienced within the body. You just see what you're experiencing on the exterior, but you torn apart. So sort out in here, and everything else will fall into place. And I'm not talking about plotting to hurt someone either. I'm talking about you want out on that business. Well, I'm here to tell you you can't. You just gotta believe in you and block out the white noise because you're gonna know yourself. When you have the eye and the heart connected together, you're gonna see your own future. You're gonna create it. You're always gonna be creating it from the now. Don't look for the future, work in the now and allow it to come. And go with the flow, and as you go, you're able to transmute things a lot faster. And I feel it. Parts of feel it. It's like confusion. Yeah, I can relate because it took me a while to get out of my own way by getting my head out of my ass so I could see it. It's like electrical current, like sparks flaring up. Sometimes it can almost feel like someone stabbed you, but if you take a TENS machine and you put it there on your rib, you'll know what I'm talking about. Che sarà todo uno non è che la maniera che uno si vede, sai, ma proprio tornato questo. Come io, I used to love this song. It's been gone so long. Ese tutorial sería un tutorial. Right now, I feel it at all go like 야식으로 했으면 좋았어. 뭐야. 우리 네. 글쎄 하시고. El tutto deve essere molto tondo. Chi possiede che si vede tutto in sa. Así como. Cada día total. I'm clearing right now and doing it to the music. Yeah. It clears the body, it clears the aura. And it finds stagnant energies. Yeah. Cool. It's so neat to do it. Sure, it's so neat to do it. Oh, yeah. Open sesame! You said that I as well. Yeah, that's. Ano mo na sila yung sa mundo eh. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what should I assume? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You need to actually coming in. I'm going to do something on to now. I need to recommend you go read my description on my YouTube channel. So she's going with herself and it might help you better understanding what my channel is about. Yay. So I want to thank you all for coming. I'm gonna shut down for right now and may come on later. No, I could talk for hours, but I want to sit like just in public in front of people and just talk and just do what I do and really answer questions, stuff like that, and to get a better understanding of what you're witnessing or anything like that. No crean es and the piece of every time I hear that word, I think, oh, I'm cuckoo, cuckoo for cocoa puffs. But I'm cuckoo, cuckoo with spirit. So I'm gonna leave everything at that and good roll. No, sigaretter away at that. And it's just like connect with her, you're connecting with home. And I'm like, keep either find a way or it's like a way maker. But it's not about pushing someone out of your way. It's about moving yourself, shifting your own beliefs, shifting not just as a piece, but as a whole. That being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings. Most importantly, for anyone else, to anyone, everyone wanting to receive and accept, which all be grateful for, supportive. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, to others. Correct yourself, kind to others. And know that you are more powerful and you have more strength than you can. Sending you all love.